Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. Are you ready
Ready for what?
to level up?
Okay, girl, let's get started. Friends, welcome to another but last episode of season 1 of Level Up with Raman and Alysha.
I was going to say, we're so used to saying another episode. Are you going to say last? Yes,
Yep.
everyone, you heard right. It's been an amazing first season for us, especially, with this being very new to us. And, with the holidays coming around the corner, we're also going to take some time off to, enjoy the holidays and take some winter break off to, kind of just relax as well. So this will be our last episode of season 1.
Yeah, definitely. Raman and I were talking about kind of like what we've been through this year. Like this past year is when we started podcast. And, it's been a great year and we've touched so many different topics throughout the year and also being through a pandemic, lockdowns and all of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, we're going to talk a little bit about that and kind of like what we learned from our journey and what we're looking forward to in 2022.
Yay! Obviously, podcast was such a fun thing to do during this time as well. It was a way for us to kind of bring out some things that we wanted to talk about and express those things. And hopefully, everyone kind of they were relatable to everybody as well, or one person or the other. But I feel like, oh my God, we started in March.
Was it
So
March? I thought it
it
was
was
February.
You know what? I think like the idea came about like in February, but I think
Okay.
we officially started in March. So it's been 10 months of podcasts. So now when I'm like
Holy.
thinking back to it, I don't think we realized like how long we've been doing this. That now when I'm actually doing the math, I'm like, holy shit, it's been 10 months and we do 2 episodes a week. So that's like, obviously, this is episode 93. So yeah, there's been a lot.
Tons. I definitely agree. When I look back and I think about it, I kind of look at our memes, like our little people, our
Yeah.
Bitmojis, and I'm like, oh, like if we had a calendar, like an advocate calendar, I see us in June, I see us in July, like
Yeah.
summer beach.
Yeah, 100%. So what was your, like, if you had to kind of look back on all these episodes, what was your, I guess, top episode? I know it's like hard to pick a favorite, but what was your
Yeah.
favorite one that we did?
You know what? We did so many different things. We did anything from like, development, self growth, self awareness, a lot of like working on yourself, working on
Mhm.
relationships with friends and, partners, family members, the Brown Girl Society, like so much. But I don't have a favorite episode, but can I tell you, I have a favorite month?
Okay.
My favorite month is definitely Girl Boss Month when we
Yes.
had all of our girls come on and, come on and talk about their lives and get to connect with them. And, we learned so much about them that like each other's friends, because you and I have been friends for so many years and,
Yeah.
Rowan and I will be friends till the end. So like, it's kind of nice to know where our friends have come from. And it brings us all so much closer to connect and understand each other so much more, whether it was family or friends. But it's just like that perspective that, women should be there for one another and not be hating on each other and being mean to each other and just disregarding one another. So that's one thing that like I love that we did to show like and show how we are with our relationships and how younger generation should continue that going forward, that let's encourage and support and celebrate each other's milestones.
Yeah, you said that so wonderfully. But yeah, if I had to pick a month, that would definitely be my favorite month as well. It was, we got to know people's stories, like of each other's family and friends. So I thought that was really cool. I
Yeah.
felt like, I know your mother better, like I know your aunt better. So that was really cool. And, and what I also learned from it was everyone has a different journey. Like no two people had the same story, same paths that they were walking. And yeah, I mean, you and I are always about women supporting women. And that's what our whole podcast about, our whole page is about. And I really do, I, I would say like one of my favorites would probably be one, yeah, like where we're promoting like women supporting women, just like our regular motivational Monday podcast where we're just encouraging people that, they do have the power to kind of turn around their life or turn around their day and kind of be better standing women. And I know obviously there's men too that are listening to our podcast. But sometimes I feel like us women really need that push. And it just makes me so happy that we're able to be those people that want to push other women. I mean, I think every episode was my favorite episode, but obviously some more than others. I feel like we learned a lot from doing podcast as well. And I feel like I feel like it definitely gave me a different outlook on like 2021 as well. Cause now I look back on it and I feel like this is one of like the great things that we accomplished in 2021.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Like it's like you said, who knew that we started in March and look at how far we come. We're at 93 episodes. And like that's phenomenal, to know that we committed to something and, fit it into our busy lives. Like you and I work full time. We also had
Mhm.
full wedding season. So it's amazing to see that at the end, like look at how far we've come. So definitely phenomenal. And I think honestly, it's another thing to keep up with current events too, right? Like I know we talked a
Yeah.
lot about what was going on, like the flavor of the month, if there was something happening in social media, something that arose or anything like that. It helped us explore that and not be people who hide under the rock and actually be
Yeah.
aware of like, oh, this is what's happening out there.
And see like different perspectives. I know some episodes we had some debates, so those were obviously a lot of fun all the time. Um, but I feel like for anybody who's like also out there looking for a way to, I feel like a lot of people do think about starting a podcast because it's like, we're extroverts, so we like to talk. Alicia and I could talk for like probably hours and hours. Sometimes we spend more time talking than we do recording all the
Yeah.
time. So we'll be like, oh shit. So we love to talk and, kind of like to communicate in that way. So I feel like it is also a really good outlook for other people that it might be starting to think about like, okay, I want to start a blog or I want to start a podcast or like how can I get started and stuff like that. It was definitely like kind of a learning process for us. We kind of learned as we went. We didn't really know what we were doing. We had to like, we always laugh about this, how like our first 5 minute podcast took us like, I don't know. I think we tried it like 5, 10 times. I don't know why it was such a struggle, but it just feels really good to know that now we're in a place where we are so comfortable with it. So I feel like even for other people who might be starting to think about like, okay, this is what I want to do, it's definitely a good output.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because do you recall when we couldn't even do the episodes without being with each other or
Oh my
seeing
God,
each
yes,
other? And
yes.
now I think we just like know each other so well. Like through the podcast, we kind of know when someone's sentence is almost done, or kind of, I don't know. I swear you and I also have this like gift that you and I kind of think of the same thing. Oh, I think we're done, or like, oh no, we can continue going. But
Yeah.
definitely, I agree with that too. Like, if you're looking to start, I think it's good to have a niche, right? Like to begin with an idea of what attracts you, like what's something you can expand on and talk about so much about. Do you have other people in your life that also like the same thing? Will they be willing to come on? And I think that's the key. Like, can you really just talk to yourself? Like you
No,
can, but who would
I
listen?
do. I hear like sometimes I listen to these podcasts, but I feel like they're very like specific based. They're like, I don't know, teaching you about like, I don't know, some sort of like, I don't know. I've
Like
heard
a
some.
cold case, or like they're telling you a
Yeah.
story. Like, I've heard of that as well. Like I've heard the murder stories, thriller stories, like they're just telling
Okay,
a
I
case
do
of.
love the true crime.
Me too, 100%. It does get
They're
me
so
intrigued.
addicting.
Yeah, but like otherwise, could I sit here and have this conversation by myself? Probably not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be as entertaining. It would just be me talking, and I'd be done at the speed of rate that you and I talk. I'd be done in 5 minutes. There's my
Yeah.
podcast.
That's true. So, I mean, some of you out there might be like, okay, like, I can talk on and on myself for hours and stuff like that. And you might be good at projecting it. I know Alicia and I are very like conversative. So we like kind of like to bounce ideas and stuff like that off of each other. And yeah, if there's somebody that you want to do it with, I mean, we'd be like more than happy to obviously give advice as well. Like if you're wondering, like, how can I start a podcast? What did we do to get started and all that stuff? We'd be obviously more than willing to help.
Yeah, definitely. You can always reach out to us. Like we have our Instagram page. We also have our email, and you can reach out anytime to us, or even on here on Anchor, and we'll be willing to help you. But definitely, I think if it's something you're thinking about doing, you should go full force and just kind of game plan out what it is you want to talk about, who you want on your show, and like how long you want to do it for too, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. So with this year ending, Raman, what are you looking forward to in 2022?
Oh my God, so much. I feel okay, first of all, I can't believe how fast 2021 finished. Like,
I
I feel
know.
like it was just January, February, because you know why, especially at this point, I feel like we started in a lockdown and we're
Yeah,
ending the lockdown. So I feel like a part of me feels like we're back where we started. So in my brain, it's almost like I can't register that 12 whole months have passed by. Like, where did the time go?
I
Um,
know.
so I'm having a hard time registering right now because I'm like what the fuck happened? Like, and I have a terrible memory. So I'm just like trying to recall my entire year. And like I know obviously summer was a blur because of wedding season.
Yeah.
Um, but for 2022, one thing I was like not looking forward to is this whole Omicron thing happening because now I
Americon?
kind Amarion, the Amarion lyrics just dancing into my life right now. But I feel like the whole time I've been envisioning 2022, it's been like a fairly COVID free year. Things are kind of going to be back to normal. And now I feel like I actually had a call with the bride yesterday who's canceling her Lori party in January.
Oh
Um,
no.
and I asked, I was like, is it because like the hall reduced their capacity? And she's like, they actually didn't, but people like were calling us and saying that they just don't feel comfortable coming. So she's like, why am I going to pay for 150 people for like 50 people to show up? And, they're just sick of planning. And I feel like that really hit me. And I had a moment yesterday where I was shit, like there might be the variant variant, like there might be a whole new set of issues like coming our way 2022. So sorry, I went straight to like the negative because that's what I've been thinking about lately. But it's just I'm being realistic. I'm just like I've started thinking about like, okay, how is this going to impact if it impacts wedding season again, if it impacts like what events we can do and can't do. And so that's kind of something that I've been thinking about. But apart from that, I was really excited for 2022. I feel like it's going to be a great year. I feel like this year was a year of like setting the bricks, and next year is going to be like building the walls to the house kind of thing, like to use that metaphor.
Yeah.
So I feel like next year is only going to build more on this year. So that's why I'm like super excited about it. What about
Yeah.
you? Because I started off so negative. So my bad.
I know. I was like, okay. Well, like I agree with you. I was also expecting a non like lockdown year as well. Like we booked our vacation, which is supposed
Yeah.
to be in 2 weeks. And I don't know if that's still gonna happen with everything going on. So I definitely agree with you on that. Like, I think things are kind of crazy for sure right now. But I do also believe like, I've heard that the variant isn't as harshening on our bodies like as it would be for like our age group and stuff.
Mhm.
Thanks if you're vaccinated, that is. But I'm no doctor, but this is what I've heard. And people are like, honestly, they're like, you're most likely going to get it if you don't like have the booster yet, right? So that's a whole thing too. But I don't think I'm as paranoid or scared as I was last year in the beginning of the year. I think last year in the beginning of the year was a lot going on. We weren't vaccinated yet. But,
Mhm.
now being vaccinated, knowing more about happened, I feel like I'm a lot better with the whole thing now. So
Yeah.
definitely, I feel much better about that. I am hoping that this dies down by at least February, March. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more aware of what's happening now and kind of have a better understanding of COVID. It kind of helps, like fucking wash your hands, people. Like wear your
Yeah.
mask. But it's just that simple now, right? And I hope no one else is suffering like harder. I know everyone is different and everyone's a different age group, so there may be other things. I
Mhm.
My hopes for 2022 honestly are a lot. Like there's a lot of personal growth I want to do. I
Mhm.
want, I'm putting it out there. I want my family to get started. Um
Yes.
I hope to have like our dreams, right? And it's like some of our goals come true next year as well that we've been working towards.
Hmm.
So there's a lot, that I'm looking forward to in 2022. Overall, being a pandemic, I don't think 2021 was that bad as 2020 was.
Right?
2021 was much better, Like
Yeah, I
I
agree.
yeah,
100%.
um I think I learned a lot more about myself this past year and I want to continue learning a lot more about me next year too.
Yeah. I feel like it almost like 2021 was like, I'm not 2021. I'm getting my years confused. 2020 felt like a roadblock almost in most people's lives because
Mhm.
of, just kind of like this whole new transition to COVID and not being able to do so many things that we're able to do. And I feel like 2021 was more of like a, okay, this is how it is right now. Like, we're just so used to wearing masks everywhere. We're used to kind of this way of life. We've gone through like 50 million lockdowns. And, luckily, um, we weren't on a lockdown during the summer, and we were able to kind of have a more normal, and people were able to, do their businesses again and kind of, start to gain like income and stuff like that they lost in 2020. So 2021 definitely felt like a more normal year. I'm like just blessed to still kind of have work and still have family and still have like food on the table and just kind of like have, and obviously 2020 was like when we cut so many like toxic people out of our lives. So 2021 really felt like I spent the year with people that are actually close to me and like actually have value in my life. And I felt like for the first year in my life, 2021 was a year where I didn't really have fake friends. I didn't have fake friends. I didn't have to, go out to these millions of dinners and stuff like that with people who like don't even follow up with me to see like how am I doing and stuff like that. So I feel like, it was like true friends like in 2021. And that's like a really good feeling that it just that this is kind of how I want to go forward in life too, even like post COVID.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you in that sense. Lots of learning and just kind of like how you kind of envision, how you want your next year to go as we get older, as we come across more milestones, and we're going to do more, right? We're planning for a
Yeah.
lot more too. I know you've got some exciting things coming up to look forward to. I have some exciting things to look forward to, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone else out there does too. And if you don't yet, that's okay too. It will come, as you slowly
Yeah.
start to put out in the universe and make those goals and do those dreams, like it will start to happen. So, if you're stuck right now and you're kind of like, oh, like this sounds so amazing, but I'm not there yet. Well, guess what? Raman and I have you covered. Go to the beginning
Yeah.
of our podcast and you will hear
Yeah. Like how
how
to
to
build a
do.
vision board, how to make
Yeah,
goals.
exactly. So start there. If you're like, I don't know what to plan for 2022, well, create a vision board, go write down what it is you want for yourself. So I feel like there's so much we can do. And, yes, there's negative days. Like I know I have them more than often. Um, and it's really making sure to deal with that. Like the other thing is,
Mhm.
looking at the end of this year, a lot of us haven't gone on vacation or had the vacation we dream of. And, it can be so draining on your body and mentally. So,
Yeah.
take that and make sure you take time for yourself. Find time, even if it's just like reading a book or like writing in a journal or just like going for a walk. It's so important to have like health for ourselves. And like if you're working like crazy at school or at work, keep doing it. Remember, there's there is the vision ahead, but also remember, like, you come first too. And I think that's
Yeah.
what a lot of people have suffered from in the last 2 years is that they weren't able to get away. So when they were on vacation, it wasn't a real vacation from a business, job, or school.
Mhm.
And that's hard. That's probably one of the hardest things. And I heard that a lot from a lot of people is that I didn't have a real vacation. So my body still hasn't relaxed.
Yeah, 100%. And, if you can't take care of yourself, we always say it's like, how can you take care of somebody else? You do have to put yourself first. It's like that analogy where it's like when the plane is like crashing and they tell you to put your mask on first before you can put anybody else's mask on. Because if you can't save yourself, like, how are you going to save anybody else? And I think, yeah, it's important to put yourself first and get that relaxation time and know when you're stressed and know when what triggers are stressing you out so you can work on like removing them or, doing things differently.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really excited for 2022. And also, on a really super side note, does it not feel like we've had our vaccine for like 5 years now?
It does. It does. Like,
Like when
even
you said earlier that we got our vaccines this year, I had to process that for a second. I'm like, wait, we just got it this year. I feel like we got our
I
vaccines like two
know.
years ago.
It feels like forever, which I guess is a good thing too, because it wasn't traumatizing, that means. But,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
right? So I guess, yeah, but I'm kind of happy to know, like, healthcare and medicine has come so far that they were able to find something to kind of prevent what's been happening. I know it's not the most perfect vaccine, but at least like
Mhm.
to see the world work together and make that happen and be delivered to all the countries out there and resource it and give it to their communities and individuals. I think like wow, look at how far we come. Since the Spanish
Yeah.
flu and what people have been through, we have communication. Everyone's on social media, everyone knows what's going on, everyone's in the loop, and I feel like that's such a positive, like, we've evolved so much,
Oh my God, 2021, the year of the vaccine. Like that's how I'm going to
literally.
remember it also. But something to add on to what you said about traveling, like I know me being like both of us are such big travelers, like we love to travel, and I
Mhm.
didn't expect to get so much travel anxiety because I hadn't traveled since 2019, and I felt like that was something I definitely was just not expecting at all, and I feel like people should also kind of expect that if they haven't traveled in a while either. And it wasn't even very like, I don't even know what the anxiety was about. It wasn't even like COVID necessarily, but it was just not having, like, when you get so comfortable in your environment, then you like it's
Yeah.
not a good thing. But COVID has kind of made us comfortable in our environments as well. That we haven't been doing so many things that we normally would do. So it gave me anxiety to like go fly again and to go travel. Obviously, it was like ripping off a band-aid. So once it did happen, I was like, okay, cool, I'm fine now. But
Yeah.
I remember prior to going, it just made me so nervous and I don't even know what I was nervous about. But I feel like, unfortunately, like staying at home or in our comfort zone, like I'm sure because I work from home, I don't think like I would ever be able to go into work. I think I would have so much anxiety about going into work and like seeing people and like trying to go back to pre COVID life. So
Yeah.
I feel like these are going to be some of the challenging things we're also going to face in the next couple of years as hopefully we get out of COVID. But,
Yeah.
I like encourage and urge everybody to like get uncomfortable as it must feel, but like, put yourself out there and still do the things that make you uncomfortable because it's like ripping off a band aid and it will feel good after.
Definitely. I couldn't, that was perfectly said. It's so true, coming out of your comfort zone and doing that again. So, becoming fearless again, just to get back into what may be our new norm, right? And just finding a
Mhm.
way to cope and be your person, be yourself in that new world. It's so true. I had the same thing you went through. And look, we both survived,
Yeah.
nothing happened, knock on wood, to both of us when we were traveling. And I think it was because we were told for 2 years almost, "Stay home, stay in your 5 people household," or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So and it's like, now you want me to go sit on a plane with a bunch of strangers? Like, I'm
Yeah.
confused, right? So,
Yeah.
I definitely agree on that point too. Obviously follow your advisories of what's going on in your country, but
Yeah.
also know that, like, you can't be scared. I know a lot of people have developed anxiety, panic, and fear throughout these last 2 years. I know so many people, and it's like the
Mhm.
only thing you can do is baby steps, just
Yeah.
try and make sure you're taking the precautions, but don't fixate on it.
Yeah. 100%. Just like we're all trying to kind of like go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, honestly, like I'm sad that we're coming to a season end. We'll miss all our listeners and all our podcasts are obviously still available for listening. So you can go at any point and listen to it on our Spotify and any other podcast platforms and YouTube. But we hope to also kind of take this nice break and have like our own R&R time. Just like we mentioned, everybody needs it. We also, like everybody, also need it. So we're also taking out that time and looking forward to it. And yeah, I just want to kind of like tell everybody thank you so much for continuously listening to us, for following us, for supporting us. I know some of our podcasts were like, we had to do a lot of them virtually this year. But Alysha and I was like she mentioned at the beginning, we have come a long way from the moment we couldn't even do it virtually. We were so confused, but I feel like we've come such a long way, and I'm so, so, so proud of us.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Raman. Thank you to all our listeners, and thank you, Raman, for being my partner on this journey.
Oh, thank
It was
you.
it was definitely something to remember. And I love that this is documented and it's in the cloud, so we can come back anytime in life and come back and listen to it or take our own advice if ever needed.
Oh yeah, 100%. Sometimes we do need to take our own advice, and I think we both know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, everyone. Well, thank you for listening. We wish everybody happy holidays, and a happy new year. Hopefully, that you are going to have a prosperous New Year's. And I don't know about you, Alysha, but I'm super excited to do my 2022 goals board. um, and like create like a new, I don't know, new and approved like updated vision board. So I'm super, super, super excited. And I hope like everybody else is kind of out there and ready to do that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I've already started. But I
I
totally
thought
agree
about
with
it. I was
you.
like, should I start? Is it too early? Because I'm like
No,
really pumped to do it.
it's never too early. Amin and I have already got a head start on it. We did go to the store, grab some things, trying something
Nice.
different this year. So I'll let you guys know how it goes in the
That's
future.
what I was thinking too. I was like, I like obviously have my board, which like bless Staples for this
Yeah.
like amazing board. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it like I'm still gonna use the same board, but I'm gonna try to like brainstorm and make it a little different this year.
Yeah. So I can't wait to hear what you come up with.
I know. Well, it's gonna be like super colorful and like
Of
super
course.
like lots of pictures and stuff like
And
that.
lots of floral.
Yes, yes. By the way, I opened the calendar. I have the January calendar ready that you
Yay.
got me. So thank you so much.
No problem. I'm glad. Um, I I also did not buy myself one just because this year I'm
What?
gonna do something different. Yeah, I'm gonna do something different.
So you got me a calendar and you didn't get yourself a calendar.
Yes, because I'm doing something different.
Okay, fine. Long as you have a calendar. I keep trying to do the electronic calendars and I just can't get into it.
Oh, I
But
hate the electronic
anyways,
calendars. Oh my God, never.
I
Oh
know,
my God,
right?
never.
But anyways, thanks everyone for listening. As always, if you're not already following us on social media, follow us at Level Up with Raman and Alysha. And if you have any questions, suggestions, anything that you need, you can always email us at ramanandalysha@gmail.com.
Yes, friends, thank you so much again for your support. We wish you and your families a happy new year and a blessed 2022.
Yes. Blessings.
Blessed. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Brianna.
Bye.